And joining us now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, our good friend Villanova champion from the 2016 squad, as well as writing a book right now that just sounds phenomenal, and I believe it in the title at least. What if the world stopped complaining about Mondays? Yes, that's his book. Darryl Reynolds joins us. What's up, D-Ray?
Chilling. How you been, Farzy?
I've been fantastic. First off, I didn't even know about this book until a little bit ago. What is this? What are we writing here? What are we working on? I love the title, and I believe in it, but what do you got going on?
So it was, I did a TED Talk around this time last year, and I kind of laid out these like rules for self-sufficiency that helped me, in my basketball career, helped me afterwards, helped me with everything once I had my injury. And people, they were talking about the information. It was like, it was well received. They liked it. They could understand it was digestible. And I was like, what if I sat down and wrote this shit out? And then last summer, I took the summer, I really wrote it out. And I want to say the end of last fall, I published the book on Amazon, self-published it, you know what I mean? And it's been going good. I've been getting some good feedback on it. I ain't never wrote anything, so it's nice to, have something out there. But yeah, I wanted to put, I don't think that my basketball career or, afterwards would have went as well as it did without these like guidelines and rules. So I wanted to put it in writing.
Life's all about perspective, my friend, and I'm sure that book gives people the right perspective. Speaking of that basketball team and your basketball career, that Jay Wright fella, that Villanova guy, that school you went to. Now, I just want to start off with it, and I don't like patting ourselves on the back, but when you and I show our utter brilliance, I feel like we need to. The last time we spoke, we talked about Jay Wright. Not what if it was a world where he didn't have to wear a suit ever again? Would he be happy or sad? Here we are in that world as we predicted, and he seems to be the happiest man in town.
Absolutely. I think people don't understand how restricting them suits are, man. Then listen, you understand as a coach, then you have players like me that notice sweat stains up under the armpits, and you know what I mean. And I kind of poke and prod and shit like that. So you get enough of those guys in the locker room. The suit thing it's a little old fashioned.
Well, I love that they're all comfortable now, at least, and Jay Wright looks like he's never been more comfortable. What I am amazed with is that every single tournament now, it seems like every single year, starting with your 2016 squad at Nova, it just seems like no matter what the adversity is, if they're not going to win, they're going to put their best foot forward, and they're going to at least compete. Well, here they are now yet again in the Final Four. The only times they do that, they seem to win the championship, as you well know. What is it about Jay Wright and this Villanova team in particular that just keeps on being able to push forward no matter what adversity faces them?
I think it starts with their seniors, Damir Cosby Roundtree, Jermaine Samuels, and Collin Gillespe. Were all freshmen in 2018 when they won. So because of COVID rules, all of them were allowed to come back for their fifth year. And I think them just being here before helps. But it's also the culture. I mean, coach has done a great job. I would say a little bit, probably right before the conference alignment back in 2013. He's done a great job of getting dudes to just buy completely into Villanova. And then obviously, as you win, then it becomes that much harder for the guys who are coming in to not do the same thing. Because now they're coming in saying, I don't want to mess this up. I want to make the older guys proud like we did. Tell me what I got to do? You know what I mean? And when you have soldiers like that, it's just, you got a different basketball team. I think that's it's contributed to like the consistent success.
The other part of it is more adversity is going to be in their way. I mean, Collin Gillespe had to come back from an MCL injury. And now it's been reported that Justin Moore has the ACL tear, so he's done as well. What would you tell Justin Moore right now as he heard this news?
This is part of the story. I think so much of our program is built on how you respond. And it's hilarious that he has a guy, if I remember correctly, because I was there, I coached Justin a little bit. I'm pretty sure their lockers are 2-3 spaces apart. A guy who and Collin Gillespe, who had an injury last year. And now you ask him, but look at how he responded. You know what I mean? The guy comes back for a fifth year as a senior. Like, look at how he bounced back from that injury from people. You go down with something with your knee, people think they'll never see you again. And because of sports medicine development, it's not the case anymore. So it's like this kid could come back better than ever, especially after having his time to sit out and really digest and really look at the game from a different perspective. Like, he could come back a beast. So I think it's it's how you respond. You know what I mean? And just know it's all part of the story.
It really is incredible when you think about it. A guy like Collin Gillespe, though, came back from his MCL injury, playing at the level that he is. You mentioned seeing him come in as a 2018 as a freshman, fighting his way through. How has his game changed from then till now?
I mean, Collin, if you watch Collin in high school, Collin grew up pretty much in the Northeast. And anybody who know Northeast Philly know it ain't nothing soft about Northeast Philly.
No, absolutely not.
So he had a, and I know the word is overused at this point. He had a grittiness to his game already. He had a very good ISO game in high school. You could see him in high school. If they needed a bucket, he could go and get it. I think the difference between Collin now and Collin then is Collin now just is a great decision maker. So as aggressive as he can be, as many clutch shots he's hit, you watch him the times that he doesn't shoot the ball and where the ball gets to, and just the decision, like the pace that he plays at, he looks like a pro out there. You know what I mean? It looks like every situation, he's seen it so many times where he just never looks panicked. And that's what I'm looking for. Like the other day, I'm watching the game. Houston started to go on a run. They cut it down to like 4, I think. I'm looking at them to see like, all right, any of y'all look scared or panicking in the eyes? And Collin was the most, you know what I mean? It was just a different type of like, nothing can break him. You know, I think that's really what it is.
The other game, the game against Michigan, they had 3 turnovers, I want to say, in the first half. They had 7 turnovers overall. 4 of them, I know, came in the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the game against Michigan. One of them was Collin, at least one. And he turned around and looked at the referee like, that happened. Okay. Like there was no like, oh my God, we're going to blow this. It's over. Like what you're saying, there was no panic to him.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And that's like I said, it's just, I think in sports in general, but especially in the college game, especially in the tournament situation, that's what you're looking for, because you understand like all this shit is mental. You know what I mean? So what they're going through mentally, for them to stay sharp in those type of moments, that's the team I'm putting my money on. You know what I mean? Because it's just like they're going to stay calm. And you see a lot of times this tournament, things start to go left. You'll see the kids' eyes get wide. They start shooting all crazy shots and throwing the ball around. So I like the idea that they're focused.
Awesome. I want to ask you this because I'm very curious. As onlookers, we take a lot in the NCAA tournament for granted. Oh, yeah, this team, these schools will be in Philly playing. These schools will be out there in the Midwest region playing out there. You know, all that's going on. We kind of take it for granted. But behind the scenes, what's it like for an athlete such as yourself? Like, what was something that surprised you about going through the NCAA tournament process? Like going out, traveling, like how all of it worked. How different is it than the regular season?
Oh my God, it is so much money put into the bro. It is. Listen. I just hold on. First of all, 2 things. I'm gonna take this moment to explain. My background is not like this because I just sit in my living room with this shit up on the wall. I am not that guy. I was streaming something for Twitch.
Oh yeah.
I gotta explain that now.
You don't always wear your Villanova Letterman jacket.
No. I mean the Letterman. I ain't gonna lie. I wear that Letterman out like some house slippers, but outside of that, that's as far as I go. But now, all jokes aside, I was just telling them on the last show. I said they asked me about it, especially the Final Four. I was like, it's some of the most surreal amounts of luxury you ever seen in your life. Like I've been to the Super Bowl, I've been to the Final Four. I'm telling you, the Final Four is a bigger event.
What?
Listen.
Oh, I'm listening.
So my grandmother, I was a role player. So I don't know if it was the fact that I looked, a certain way in the jersey, or it was just luck of the draw or whatever, but they chose players to put up on the sides of buildings in Houston. Like, I'm not talking a poster. I'm not talking a fat head. I'm talking there's an entire building with like a roll down dropout printed thing of you. And one of the buildings, when you first come from the airport and you get into Houston, had me on it. My grandmother called me like crying about it and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not even the guy. So like the amount of luxury and just pure access and like the shit that you see, the food spread was incredible. It's just the shit that you see at the Final Four, the hotel you stay in, the way they caddy you from everything. It's such an experience. Like it is, being a player, it is as rewarding as a fan. I will say that.
That's absolutely incredible. I take it now your grandmother has that banner of you like folded in her closet somewhere. or on the
Everybody got
side
a
of her house.
picture of it. It was too big to take off the building. Everybody got a picture.
Hey, I would assume it would just be like thrown over her house. Like, no, not okay. That is amazing. I never even thought about that. That's insane. What I can't. So okay. Similar note. You mentioned the money that goes into it. Well, now at the very least, and I have been banging this drum forever. I never thought college athletes should be paid, but I always felt like they should be allowed to make money, especially in the social media age where you are, and everyone, myself included, you're your own brand, and your social media outlet is your brand. What do you make of this world that we're living in now, that an athlete such as yourself, when you were playing, could have gotten sneakers to like Nike to sponsor your Instagram or whatever have you, whatever it might be? What do you make of the world we live in now regarding that?
I think it's a changing of the guard. I think you're gonna see, like, to me, Coach K retiring at this time is not a shock. Just because when you bring in, I'm gonna just be real. People are talking about the players are getting. You got to think from a coach's perspective. What are you dealing with now as far as these kids coming in? And you know, like over the past 10 years, past 12 years, the social media has like ramped up. You kind of see it. Like now, these kids are coming in. They have a following. They have a bigger entourage than a college kid would usually have. And I think at this point, we're coming up on a time where like college is going to kind of be like the European pros, where you're pretty much a pro like from 16 and up. Because you look at what's happening in high school with the EYBL and the AAU movements and social media kind of going after those young kids and their following. So I think with NIL, college is going to become much more of a business, and it's a changing of the guard as far as what the game looks like. You know what I mean? From the competition level to now kids aren't as incentivized to do great in college so they can make money in the league or overseas. Now it's like, bro, I could be rich. I could be rich. I could be wealthy at 18. Like it puts the pressure on middle school and high school now.
Right. It's almost as if, like, for instance, the guy that I always go to is Zion. Like, because like I knew who Zion was when he was 13. 12, throwing it down like the way he was. If it was all on an Instagram account that he could monetize or a YouTube channel that he could monetize, you're making money, man, because everybody's checking that out. ESPN's throwing that out there, and you're getting followers, subscribers, the whole thing that way. So it is a totally different world. I do have to ask you the big question here: Kansas, Villanova. You got the number 3 team in the country in the Jayhawks, and you got the number 6 team or 5 team if you look at the coaches poll in the Villanova Wildcats. What do you like in this Final Four matchup?
I like the fact that there's no love found between either team. I was in a uniform for a win against Kansas to take us to the Final Four. But then I was, in a suit on the bench for a complete and total ass whooping out at Rock Chalk Arena or whatever the hell they call it. When we had to play them 3 years later. Sorry. So man, it's just these programs have so much history, especially over these past 10 years. Like there have been a lot of run-ins. In 2018 in the Final Four, they had to play Kansas. There have been so many run-ins between the two of them. I love that there's no love found between the two. This is going to be a great game. I don't like that we don't have Justin Moore. I got to be honest. But sure. It's going to be a great game.
All right. Villanova will win this game if
they keep Kansas off the glass.
On the board.
The size that they have, if they get on them offensive rebounds, it's going to be a long night. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be out there. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be in some way or another, it is going to be a long night. But it depends on if it's going to be a long night just for the fans or for the team and the fans. If they can't keep them off the glass, it's going to be a long night for the team and the fans because they are athletic, bro, and they run. Like, they run.
Yeah, certainly. Let me ask you, so I can get this book on Amazon. What if the world stopped complaining about Mondays? I can get that on the old Amazon?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. It's on Amazon and paperback and the ebook. I know everybody on the Kindles and whatnot now, and I'm about to release the audio pretty soon too. So It's on Amazon.
All right, I'm going to let you go back to putting up your Jason Lawson fatheads and your Tim Thomas things and your Jay Wright suits that you have in glass and all that fun stuff behind you.
And water to them, they inflate.
Exactly. D-Ray, always great catching up with you, man. Hey, look, as a Temple guy, I can't root for Villanova, but I am happy if they do well because I believe in the Big Five, my friend. I believe in the Big Five.
I get it.
All right. Darryl Reynolds, always great catching up with you. Thanks for joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line.
Thank you, bro.